Hello, this is Randy Wolken with my April 6th update on the COVID crisis. Today at the governor's press briefing, the governor announced that there were 130,689 confirmed COVID cases. There were 732,000 plus confirmed in New York City. So far, there's been 4,758 deaths related to COVID. Current hospitalizations include nearly 17,000 people, which is up just about 400. There were 4,500 ICU patients, which is up 128. And over 13,000 patients have been discharged, including nearly 1,200 today. The governor is extending his New York pause until April 29th, which means schools and non-essential businesses will remain closed and social distancing measures will remain in place. In fact, the governor has announced that he's increasing the maximum fine for violating social distancing protocols from $500 to $1,000. The number of COVID-19 related deaths has been flat for the last 2 days, and different statistical models project different results, but the governor is hopeful that we're near the apex. Modeling shows that New York will not exceed the projected 110,000 hospital beds initially thought he would be needed. The current projections show a need for 20 to 30,000 hospital beds. Now, this will change with time and will reflect the success of his social distancing protocols. The governor is calling President Trump to ask the federal government to change the use of the USNS Comfort to provide care for COVID patients. And New York State is launching a COVID-19 First Responders Fund. Health Research Inc., which is part of the New York State Department of Health, will be accepting donations to be used for expenses related to COVID's first responders. Blackstone has made an initial $10 million contribution, and donations made for the COVID-19 responses will be used for direct expenses associated with these activities. Online donations can be made on our website in the links for resources. The New York State Department of Empire State Development has posted resources to assist eligible businesses and nonprofits to better understand the U.S. SBA coronavirus loan programs, that is the payroll protection, the Paycheck Protection Program. There are a variety of links on our website that can help you best determine both eligibility and usefulness for your company. There's also the SBA Loan Subsidy Program link along with the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation has updated its environmental cleanup and brownfields COVID update on its website. There's also a variety of new updates as well as any additional guidance that is related to New York State departments, all on our website. You can check our resources. There have been no changes to Empire State Development's guidance for essential businesses. According to reports, there will be an update with guidance that will classify real estate showings, appraisal services, home inspections, and back office real estate work as essential functions. So you should look forward to that and check on that. There's a series of things also for New York State related to what they can offer. New York City's updates are also there. As you know, the hotspot for New York State is New York City, and I encourage you to look at those as well. Then there's a series of updates that Ostroff Associates and Rebecca Marino, who's providing this to us, has suggested that we take a look at those, and then you take a look at those for continued updates in terms of New York State and anything having to do with further budget descriptions. Tiffany Latino Gerlach continues to update areas related to the budget of New York State, so look for those on our website or give her a call or email her. She'd be willing and excited to actually talk to you. As you can imagine, our team is working really hard to continue to update all these resources and to be of help to you. I also want to make you aware of the continued expansion of our keeping people safe in our factories running. Our first cohort has completed its checklists. They're fine-tuning it now and shall have those completed by the end of the week. Our second cohort is getting ready to launch I highly encourage any business that's open and deemed an essential business to become a part of this effort. This is going to be an ongoing battle to keep employees safe and to make them feel safe. And this 5-step approach that MACNY has launched along with other partners is critical to that. Also amongst the protocols, how to respond to a crisis. We've had several members already have a related incident in their facilities, which have caused them to do a wide variety of activities so that they can reopen safely. We expect this to be an ongoing concern for most essential businesses going forward. There's a lot of projections that would suggest that COVID-19 is not going to leave us and that we're going to continue to deal with it for the next year. So please take advantage of these resources to take the pledge, to get help from each other, and to forge forward. We're excited to announce that we're beginning to launch this in other parts of the state, that our first partners will be in the Hudson Valley and Albany, but we expect soon to have partners in this effort, as well as their own efforts in Buffalo, in Rochester, Long Island, in New York City. With your assistance, we can keep our factories open and running safely. I want you to know we're also expanding this model to other parts of the economy that may currently be closed but will need to come back open in order for our economy to again grow. At the Regional Economic Development Council level, as the co-chair of the council, I'm working with Deborah Stanley, president of SUNY Oswego, and the rest of the Red Sea members to take a look at our investment and our support strategies for the upcoming year so we can help the economy regain its ground and grow again. There's a series of projections, I'm sure you're seeing them, which would suggest that our economy is going through a recession. The question, I think, that we don't yet know is how deep and what the recovery looks like. We'll need your help on this. We'll need your active participation to help us figure this out. Now, I say this as we recover, not because we're going to go back to work all at once and it's going to happen right away. As I mentioned earlier, the governor has put pause into effect for the remainder of April. But we have to plan and prepare to regain the ground that we have lost during this crisis. So I encourage you to begin that planning effort. I read a very insightful report from McKinsey & Company talking about a need to get a planning effort started. And so I would encourage you to think about who on your team is going to plan for the recovery. Who's going to plan for your company and your organization to adjust to the new normal? This is a hard thing for all of us to do, especially in the midst of a crisis. I know many of us are touched by loved ones and others who have been already impacted and will certainly be impacted going forward. And finally, I want to say this: have hope. We've been through this type of crisis or a series of like crises time and time again in our country. And in particular, manufacturers have found a way to not only survive, but eventually thrive again. The next few weeks could be the most difficult yet, as the number of cases grow and the deaths increase. And I encourage you to take care of yourself, both as leaders and as individuals, to reach out to those around you and just call to tell them you care about them, because that really matters in times like this. I'll continue to do daily updates. You'll have another one tomorrow. But for now, have a nice evening. Be calm, stay safe, and carry on.